Hello, GotAUkulele back with an instrument review. It's always a good day when I get to review a luthier built instrument, and that's what we have here. A chap who's very local to me in Staffordshire in the United Kingdom called Chris Perkins, who makes guitars, makes other stringed instruments, and makes some rather nice ukuleles. Got in touch and asked me if I'd like to feature one on the website. I've had this now for a couple of weeks and I've been playing it. And it's going to be something of a joy to tell you about it. Chris Perkins, tenor scale handmade ukulele made in the UK, and it really is kind of special, isn't it? Right, so we have a fairly standard double bout shaped tenor ukulele, nice rounded bass down there. I always like that. And this is Makore wood, which is an African cherry. As you can see, it's two pieces on the top, two pieces on the sides, two pieces on the back, and in the light, it's just got, sorry about the reflections because I'll come on to that in a moment, but you see the flaming there, the sort of shimmering 3D effect. We've got the same sort of thing going on the back. I mean, it's just stunning, isn't it? As I say, two-piece sides, we've got this detailing down here in the base, and I'll just explain about that because that is burr walnut edged with sycamore. And the reason I'm just picking that out for you, and that's a strap button, by the way, obviously, is that what Chris has done with this one is he's repeated that burr walnut and sycamore stripe throughout the instrument, and it's really nice when that happens. I think one thing I really don't like is factory built instruments where they say, well, we'll just go in the parts bin and we'll put a bit of abalone here and a bit of cream here and a bit of walnut somewhere else, and it's all mixed up. It's got no pattern or consistency. This is consistent, and you're seeing more of that walnut and sycamore stripe here on the bridge, and they are boxwood bridge pins. So it's a bridge pin ukulele, really nice, really easy for string changes. And that saddle is made of ebony. Looking inside, really, really neat and tidy. Delicate shaped, scalloped fan bracing. That's the maker's label there. Notched kerfing. Heel cap on the edge of the neck there. Also burr walnut and sycamore stripe. So we're repeating again. And we have a single piece mahogany neck, which is finished in the same gloss as the body. Incidentally, the gloss for an independent luthier that doesn't have a big workshop, as Chris doesn't, it's really interesting to see gloss. This is acrylic spray, and he's got it like an absolute mirror. Now he's done that with lots and lots of thin coats, lots of sanding back, keeping it, building it up very, very gently. It's startlingly good. Quite often you don't see luthiers put spray coats on because it's a big job, and there's nothing worse than a bad acrylic coat. This is a really good one. So yeah, as I say, it's all mahogany neck, single piece, nice and shallow profile at the top, and the nut width's about 38-39 mil, so nice and wide. 20 nickel silver frets. They're quite jumbo, and the edge of the fretboard curves around the top of the sound hole there. That's really nice. And the fingerboard material is kind of flamed as well. You see the diagonal stripe there? That's really nice. Now, Chris hasn't put outward facing fret markers on because he says he'd rather the wood spoke for itself. I think I'd like them myself, but thankfully we do have them at 5, 7, 10 and 12 on the side. Ebony nut. Incidentally, the nut and the saddle setup is absolutely perfect on this one, up to a nicely shaped headstock, again faced in that beautiful burr walnut and also with the little sycamore stripe laying underneath it. Tuners are Grover open gears. Really nice, those. I mean, I really like Grover open gears. I know I talk about, sorry, I'm just getting some details out so I can tell you what the price of this is. I know I talk about friction pegs on smaller ukuleles. On tenors, I tend to use these. This is what's on my Canalea. And it is strung with Dodario titanium strings. Not my choice of strings, to be perfectly honest, but you know, they're easily changed. and that all comes in at a price of $8.95 with a pod case. That's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money for a handmade instrument made in the UK, and certainly not a lot of money for an instrument of this sort of quality. Now, Chris doesn't do commissions, he doesn't build to orders. What he does is he starts a ukulele based on what he wants, he builds it, and then he puts it up for sale and starts another one. So he's not the sort of guy you're going to pick the phone up to and say, I want this, that, and the other. Basically, he sells what he makes, because when they're this good, I think they sell themselves. So yeah, $8.95, and here we are. Beautiful. We'll have a play. I really dislike doing these reviews because it really shows that I'm not a very good player, and I can't do an instrument like this justice, but I'll just play the normal stuff. It's got a really nice bell-like tone. It's light, it's perfectly balanced in the hands. It's a fingerpick instrument. It's just... I really like it. Strummed, it's not as loud as I expected it to be. Now, the strings may have something to do with that. As I say, I would change them. Got a real jangle to it. It's a lot brighter than I expected it to be. Don't know why I expected it not to be bright, but then I've not played an African cherry ukulele before. Yeah, a lot janglier. It's the harmonics. It's got a real range, but it's not confused. It's not muddy. I really like this. Chris Perkins, he's got a YouTube channel. Do read the written review of this one, because there's better pictures of it, close-up pictures of the detailing. It is absolutely stunning. This is going back to him next week. It's not something I can afford, but I'm sure somebody will snap this up. This is, what a great builder. Chris Perkins, tenor ukulele in African cherry. Really highly recommended. See you soon.